I want to make a bank. I mean, look at me. Look at my suit. Look at my face. Of course I want to make a bank. I'm basically the Monopoly man. Now, this bank is going to have security systems. It's going to have multiple bank accounts. It's going to have depositing and withdrawing of valuables. It's going to be an interesting redstone project. One that I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to do just yet. So, let's get the ball rolling. Okay, I would say we're off to a pretty good start here. This is where people are going to be putting in their bank cards to be able to access their bank accounts. This is what ATM machines look like in England. So the first part of the circuit is really simple. It's just working out who's actually trying to access their bank account. So the player puts their bank card into the barrel up there, it travels along like this, gets checked against all of the bank cards that are in the system, and then the one that it matches up with will get a redstone output through it. I guess before I do any more redstone stuff, I should work on making this at least a little bit interesting looking, which I would say I've done successfully. It looks nothing like a bank I've ever seen before, but equally I think it looks cooler than any bank I've ever seen before. Now, these redstone lamps are going to indicate which bank account has been accessed. There's only 5 people who go to this bank. It's a very small bank. And so I need to work out a way to make these indicator lights switch on and correctly correspond to the right bank account, which I think I should be able to do actually using the bank system itself, maybe? You see, my grandmaster plan is that inside of those droppers, I'm going to have shulker boxes, and those shulker boxes are going to be people's bank accounts. So when someone puts their debit card in, the shulker box gets fired out and gets transported over to a vault that they need a PIN card to be able to enter. So whichever shulker box is missing from this set of droppers right here should be the bank account that is currently being accessed by the system. But before we do any of this stuff, we need to make sure that somebody doesn't put 2 bank cards in. So we need to make it so that this barrel over here locks and won't accept anything until the processing is complete. What you're about to see is horrifying. This is some very big, very ugly redstone, but it does seem to function. You can see only 1 item gets removed. No matter what I do, I cannot get a single more item going into this until I reset it, which is exactly what we want. Now, that reset can come in 2 ways. If someone puts something into the system that isn't a bank card, then obviously we have to have a way of unlocking that chest, because otherwise a simple jacket potato could break the entire system. We certainly don't want that. The other way it will reset is when all of these have been refilled. And that is a little bit more involved, because we don't really have much space for redstone, but all I need to do is create an OR gate that runs across into a little redstone torch that will unlock a hopper on the falling edge once all of those are refilled. Yeah, that made sense to me, maybe not to you, but now I know what I'm doing. And that should now all be done. What a colossal mess. So now let's hook up all of our indicator redstone lamps, which also looks horrific, but hey, at least it works. What on earth is that thing? Absolutely nothing exciting. I apologize for that. Right, now we need to build up the bank account access system, we need to build up the little vault, and we need to create the PIN code system, which is going to be really interesting because each person has an individual PIN code. Obviously, everyone doesn't have the same code. That's not very secure. So that means that not only do I have to make a 9-digit combination lock, I also have to make the code variable. I only learned how these things work last week, literally. I'm going to ignore that definite future headache, and I'm going to work on just transporting the bank accounts. That's nice and easy. I think I can do that. I've also done some decorating, because again, that doesn't require much logic in my brain. I mean, it's still difficult. Yeah, it's still difficult. I do want to make things look nice, and it doesn't come naturally to me, but at least I haven't had to think about how I'm going to do this 9-digit combination lock, because I have no idea at the minute. Also, does this make sense? Like, does this make sense right here? Because I've read it about 20 times, and I can't tell if it makes sense or not. The idea is simple. The shulker box will arrive, and then when it does, this redstone lamp will switch on, which means you can then try and access the account. And once you've accessed the account, you press the button, and that closes the account, and that will reset the entire system. I think that makes sense. So first thing I have to do is connect the output from the shulker box up to the redstone lamp. That will tell us that the account is there. Then I need to connect this button up to a system that will crush our shulker box and also close our piston door. So that's all done now as well. This little RS snore latch over here has been reset. This is the thing that is going to be triggered by our 9-digit combination lock, which, yeah, I'm still trying my best not to think about, but I am now getting painfully close to the point where I am actually going to have to start thinking about it. Yeah, I think this is actually one of the final redstone circuits that I have to do, which is just transporting the shulker boxes back up and back into their original droppers. Now, obviously, we can't sort non-stackable items, but the good thing is only one shulker box can be missing at a time. So if I remove one of the shulker boxes, you can see that the only hopper that is unlocked and will be able to receive a shulker box back again is the one that doesn't have any items on the inside of it. Oh, and I've actually put some faces to our bank accounts now. So there truly is Nothing else I can do. There's nothing else that I can fiddle with. There's nothing else that I can add to this redstone circuit without doing the thing that I'm incredibly terrified of. Well, I guess I could test it. I haven't actually tried this thing yet. I haven't actually seen if it works. So I put my card into the barrel. Okay, my bank account's been selected. That's good. That sounds good. That looks good. Now this is me inputting the correct combination of one button press. Excellent. My bank account is looking rather lovely. And then if I hit this button, yep, bank account's been closed. Deselected, and my card has been returned. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This would be pretty good on its own. You know, even without the extra security stuff. Maybe I could just cut out all of the mentions of the extra security stuff. Just leave it as this. No, I must deliver on what I promised. So this is the 9-digit combination lock that I designed last week. It's the first time that I'd ever built a 9-digit combination lock, and I can tell you now, it's not good. This is huge. We're not going to be building this one. But it did teach me how 9-digit combination locks work, so now that I can take that knowledge into other people's designs and kind of reverse engineer them. The big difference between my design and modern designs is that modern designs make use of redstone signal strength to make them considerably more compact, which is something that I sort of already knew before I made this, but as I say, I just wanted to understand the logic of it. I need to stop making excuses for this horrific beast. But the design that I'm going to be using for my redstone bank is by a person called Crafty Masterman. I'll put a link to them down in the description. However, I need to modify it so that we can modify what the combination is depending on whose bank account is selected. And I think I finally have an idea. Building up this design always just looks like you've just randomly put down comparators and repeaters and they're facing one another and nothing works, but somehow it does work. I mean, just look at this thing. This is a 4-digit combination lock. Look at it. Just what? Obviously, now that I've done all my research into combination locks, I fully understand how this thing works and would have been able to design it myself. Totally could have come up with this one. Yep. But the thing that's interesting is what decides the combination are these chests right here. Okay, so each one of these chests, you fill it up with various numbers of items. I actually have them listed over here. And that is what will change the combination. So, all we have to do is swap out these chests. Now, we can do this in vanilla Minecraft making use of composters, but unfortunately, we then wouldn't be able to use the number 9. That would not be detected by the system. So instead, I'm going to make use of movable tile entities, and that should give us the variance that we need to build this thing. But first, I guess I should see if it's all working. So I've got this reset code button right here, and then if I press the number 4, that should tick across. And then 3... Excellent. 2. And 1. And our redstone lamp should flick on. Time to start changing things. So these right here, these are our chest pillars, our chest magazines, I guess you could say. And this is how we're going to be swapping out our combination. So up at the top, I'm going to have a bunch of pistons facing downwards. And depending on what account is being accessed, depends on how many pistons extend and what chest ends up in front of the comparator, deciding that part of the combination. All I have to do is tell the machine what bank account has been selected, and I can conveniently do that using the same circuit that shows us what bank account has been selected. So Mumbo is the default, Green is 1 block down, Scar is 2 blocks down, Is Skull 3 blocks down, and Impulse 4 blocks down. Now it's just all of the finishing touches to go in place, all of the kind of reset circuits and everything like that. I'm actually running out of wool colours for this build now, but that should be the final redstone line, which should mean that this entire thing is now all completed and we have ourselves a working bank in Minecraft. And I'm incredibly nervous to test it. Here comes the moment of truth. So first things first, I have got my Mumbo bank card. I'm going to submit that into the system. We should see my bank account has been selected, and this redstone lamp has switched on, which means that my account is now ready to be accessed. So all I have to do is input the code 4, 3, 2, 1, and I can access my bank account. Okay, so I've got my bank account. This is fantastic. This is working really, really well. Okay, if I hit this button right here, that should close my account, and I should eventually get my bank card back. Nice. Okay, this is very, very good. I'm very, very happy about this. But what if I'm good times with Scar? Okay, so his code is 5923. So I'm going to grab Scar's bank card. And I'm going to chuck it into the system. Now we should see that Scar's head will light up. Excellent. And the redstone lamp is on. Okay, so the code 5923. Well, firstly, let's try 4, 3, 2, 1. That's my code. And it hasn't worked. It no longer works. But if I type in Scar's code 5923, so that is 5, 9, 2, 3. It opens up! We can access Scar's bank account! This is awesome! Okay, hit the button. That closes the account. Everything's going away. And eventually I should get Scar's card back. This is so much fun. This is too satisfying. This is too satisfying. I can't help myself. I'm going to do one more. Okay, so I've got Grian and Iskal's cards right here. If I put in both of them at the same time, only one of them can be removed by the system, so we can't try and access 2 cards at once. Grian has been selected. Grian's code is 8585. Redstone lamp is on. That is 8. And then the number 5. And then the number 8. And then the number 5. It's working so well! It's working so well! I was not expecting it to work as well as it is currently working. I'm chuffed to bits with this. I've made a working bank in Minecraft. This is it. A working bank. And to those of you who are saying you could just use an ender chest for this stuff,